Okay, apparently we are live, which happened a lot faster than usual, which kind of caught me off guard. But anyway, yeah, hello and welcome to Catalysis. We're going to be looking at the process behind the Catalyst Fund. The Catalyst Fund is a fund in Cardano, which takes a whole bunch of fees which are paid when every transaction happens on the network. A little bit goes into the treasury, and basically the treasury gets to fund awesome projects that happen put forward by the community members, right? So if you're interested, go over to cardano.ideascale.com, where you'll basically find all that you need to know, and yeah, create an account and yeah, join the awesome community. So this time around, we're going to be looking at the FUND3 challenge for the developer ecosystem, right? So the idea behind these videos, or these overview videos, or even just any of these videos, and any of these catalysis videos, is to help with exposure, right? So far on what's it called, on I should go ahead and hide that, on idea scale, it's very much it's a lot of text, right? And chances are a lot of people have not actually taken the time out to have a look at different proposals, but guess what, they do have time to actually watch a video. So I figure actually contextualizing things here will actually help people to get better exposure and to get better informed whether they're going to actually be giving reviews for these different projects, or whether they're just going to be voting for them in the end. Either way, it's really quite helpful. Okay, right, with that out of the way, let's jump into this. Right, so this here link is actually or this is a copy of Daniel's awesome community member spreadsheet, right, where I believe he sort of scraped all of the stuff from IdeaScale, as I said earlier, cardano.ideascale.com, yeah, these are all the different projects within this particular challenge, right? So the developer ecosystem challenge. I'm going to be sort of breaking these down in three ways. One, I'll be looking at whether or not it's a FUND2 alumni, and then the next, sort of the different categories, and then lastly the budget, right, in terms of percentages. Excuse me. Right. Yeah, so as you can see here, I already sort of set this to be, oh no, come back, there we go. I've already sort of set this to order by these, right? So this basically says that these number from, I suppose in this case, from number 4 all the way through to number 17, out of I think 40 odd, oh no, around 50, yes, around 50 odd proposals. Out of them, around 20 odd are basically from people who have previously participated in the previous fund, right, in FUND2. And what's interesting about this as well is that much like the developer, the decentralized application proposals, there are people here who are actually successful in FUND2 who have then actually come back for more. Like for example, again, like Liquid, as I'd mentioned before. So I'm not sure whether these guys were successful. I don't know whether these are the arena folks coming back for more. But yeah, either way, yeah, so that's that. So now moving on to the categories. So as I said, Daniel put this together, and he's been kind enough to actually go through the trouble of sort of creating these different categories here. And yeah, as you can see, actually there aren't that many in this case, so I can actually kind of quickly just gonna go through them. So there's research and development, entrepreneur, developer support tool, application system, specific application tool system, education, marketing and PR, education onboarding, Cardano Explorer systems tool, system and tools, stake pool resource, other, very specific, education and adoption, wallet, networking, oracles. It's a bit tricky to actually like, because before I sort of decided to use Daniel's spreadsheet, I personally actually, you know, started, you know, I'd gone through the whole process of scraping idea scale and starting to create categories and, you know, doing all this, and it's actually quite tricky to do. So I commend Daniel for actually for doing all of this. Yeah, so I'll come in here and actually just do a random sort of sorting, and yeah, you'll see the different projects kind of get batched into, you know, particular categories here. So what I'm going to do at some point in the near future, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, so in the really near future, is to actually, you know, sort of open, you know, all these sort of different categories up in different tabs on here, and then just, you know, quickly go through yeah, just like, again, an overview, but then now in detail, oxymoron there, of, you know, of the different proposals, right? Not particularly giving like a bias thing, actually just doing much like what I did in Fund 2, but in this in that case with Tevo, basically just looking at it and looking at a proposal and saying, okay, what's going to be really challenging about this proposal, right? Sort of like the most challenging case, and then best case, like if this works, like what are the sort of super awesome stuff that could, you know, come from this. Yeah, and so yeah, so that's that. And then now moving on to the light just become a little bit brighter then. Moving on to the budget bit, right? So we said we're gonna sort of conclude this by talking about the budget. The idea behind talking about the, what the hell is going on here? Oh, that's because none of the budget has been put in. Okay, okay. Well, no, the percentages of the budget. Okay, so maybe I might be able to, you know, go in and work out the formula, which then just basically sort of references this particular column and figures out the percentages of the overall 250k budget. But anyway, right. So yeah, the idea of looking into the budget is to basically, you know, figure out, you know, the at the spectrum, the end, you know, the varying ends of the spectrum, right? So like in this case, you know, the lowest end, you know, is a project here asking for $1,200 equivalent of ADA, and yeah, the next one here is 3,900, and then followed by 500, right? So yeah, we'll be, you know, going into why, you know, so trying to speculate, you know, what the idea behind that, you know, the strategy is, then again flipping it around and having a look at the more expensive one. So like in this case, 75 grand, and then 60 grand. And yeah, having a look, and obviously in this case, one of them is by someone who was in Fund 2, the others aren't, but then in terms of the categories, they actually all fall into the same category, which is specific application tools. In this case, Infura, like Cardano API, IaaS, what as a service, infrastructure as a service, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure Infura is the best reference given its kind of reputation within Ethereum, and it being associated with centralization. Not entirely sure whether that's a super good thing, but yeah, we'll get into that when we actually break these things down. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It felt like that one went by quite quickly. Anyway, so yeah, let's do the sort of closing bit here. Hide that. Yeah, so again, to go back to the to what I said at the beginning, the idea behind this is to, you know, break down in sort of video form, simple, accessible form, basically, because a lot of people are not going to have the time. Simply, you know, it's not out of like sort of malice or laziness or anything. They just simply don't have the time, you know, to go through a whole bunch of text, you know, in different web pages on idea scale. And so this is for people who are going to be writing reviews, and also those who are actually going to be voting as well, just to kind of give a good exposure of what the hell is going on. And video form is a really good form to actually do that. So in closing, if you are a proposer in this case, for anything, right, but in this particular case, we're talking about the developer ecosystem challenge, but yeah, even if you're sort of putting forward a proposal for any other of the challenges, go ahead and reach out to me. Let's have a conversation in a sort of quite concise way that people are able to sort of understand. What would be great about that is people will actually be able to put a face, a human face to the proposal. So which is really, really helpful, right? Because otherwise you're just sort of like this object, and people don't really get to understand what your story is, and get to look get to have a look at the whites of your eyes, kind of so to speak. But yeah, so yeah, I invite you to basically reach out, and let's have a conversation. In the meantime, I'll just carry on, as I said, breaking these videos down, and trying to create some sort of exposure and insight in an accessible way. So I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing you around.